What's good, y'all? It's your boy Retro, and I'm back with another video. So we got another game playing here. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my favorite games of all time, The Last of Us 2. Keep y'all a little bit entertained throughout this whole thing. Now, it took a lot out of me to fucking just record this. I struggle with procrastination a lot, even like when I'm taking my fucking Adderall medicine to do my schoolwork. It always takes a lot out of me when it comes to just like, these videos and stuff. And I feel like I need to do something productive today, a lot of things productive today. And I feel like this is one of them. So today we are going to be doing a story time about my first high school girlfriend. Now, I've been so reluctant on doing these types of videos because I am not a dude who likes to put a lot of personal stuff on social media. I'm just not, and I'm sure some of y'all don't like it either. And it hits different when it comes to story times, because usually I'm a character, usually I'm somebody who, you know what I'm saying, I'm very chill, I'm very excited to make videos, I'm very excited to, show y'all what my creations are, because I like to consider myself a great creator. Not the best, but I'm a great creator, and I have a future with this, I feel like. And that character needs to be utilized more than, the person. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it in a way. But at the same time, bro, like I gotta open up to y'all some way and somehow and get y'all to know me a little bit more. So yeah, enough wasting time. Here we go. So this girl, I've known this girl for a long time. I've known her since like 7th grade, bro. 7th grade. She was talking with my homie, my former best friend now. She had a vibe to her that no other girl really had. Like, she made me feel like I was really somebody, and kind of acknowledged me in the way that I was want to be acknowledged. Like, for example, like there are certain situations where girls would just like, just kind of treat my presence as like a oh, okay, it's Desmond. Like, that's how they'll treat my presence. But she would just be like she would make me feel like the most important person in the room and make me feel like I'm somebody who belonged. So that is why she was so special to me in a way. And the thing with me, especially at that time, I was a child who looked for too much validation, and me feeling like nobody really gave me that kind of led that to be motivation to, well, not motivation, but when she gave me that validation that I always wanted, I really was like, okay, this girl might be the one. Now, we ain't really started talking about dating yet, but it is coming. So there's this one day where I had the opportunity to record a football game. Well, not record, but do photography, because I was in the photography class at the time, and she was also in that photography class. And she essentially, let me take it back a little bit. I had found her snap. And I followed it. I added her on it because we were already good friends. We already almost talked every day. And you know what I'm saying? We just started chopping it up in the text messages. She said she didn't know I had like Snapchat or any type of social media, because in school a nigga did not talk to nobody. Like, I wasn't cool with nobody. Like, y'all gotta understand, like, there wasn't too many people who I would say that I was close with and who I talked to every day. Like, I can only name them on one hand, and them niggas barely even talk to me. So we were already kind of in tune. So she really didn't think I was on social media a lot. And then we started asking each other questions and stuff like that in that nature. And then she asked me, like, would I ever, date her? Do I flirt with her when I, slightly punch her on the shoulder? Not like a real punch, but just flirting. And I'm like, it's a friend thing. And then she also asked me, like, would I date her to save her life and stuff like that. And I said, I don't know, like, would you date me? And she was like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, can we make this official? And then she was just like, yeah. So that's kind of how we got together. Following days, bro, we go back to school, and for some reason, and I look back on it and I say this, like, was I more into her than she was into me? Because there would be times where I would try to say hey, and then she would just like shrug it off, or maybe she just wanted to spend time with her friends. Maybe maybe I need to take a step back and doing a lot of the things that I do. And you know what I'm saying, I didn't do anything bad. I feel like I kind of just like was being a boyfriend, kind of just like acknowledging her and making sure she was good and stuff like that. And for an odd reason, it felt like she wasn't infatuated with the relationship as much as I was, because I wanted to make sure she had a lot of things going, made sure she, felt good every day, made sure she was just good. And days go by, we hold hands, we kiss each other every day. And there was this one argument that we had, because this was like after my mom had found out. And then, if you know anything about certain families, black families especially, if one person finds out, everybody finds out. So that ultimately ended up happening. And then, what else? That ultimately ended up happening. And then we had gotten into an argument one day where, like, she was posting about another nigga, like how she had a crush on him, which that was kind of the thing of her page. Like, she would post how she like thought another nigga was attractive, an anime character was attractive. And then, when I confronted her about it the first time, she would be like, I didn't do anything, this and that and the third. And then if she goes on her TikTok page and kind of is using my first name initial and saying fuck me, how she misses her ex, which is she losed her initial and stuff like that. And then she just kept lying to me, like, what's the point of lying? And then I just slept on it. I just didn't respond. It was what it was. And then the next morning, I kind of apologized for overreacting, even though in my head I knew I wasn't wrong. But at the time, it was just like I really wanted a relationship for some reason, so I just apologized myself. And she also apologized for how she acted. And then we moved on from there. And then, the relationship got a lot deeper because I met her parents, she met mine. I actually went to her house where, it was fun time. It was a fun time. And don't worry, y'all, I did not do anything over there. But I had a good time. It was really fun. And then ultimately, a few days after that, this was around, after Christmas in January, we had an argument because, like, she was really bad at communication, and she didn't text a lot, and I kind of felt like that was setting us apart. And then it's just like, it got to a point where, we broke up. We were going to break up, and then I kept telling her, like, no, because I really wanted the relationship to work out. I was like, no, and then she just kept saying no. And then, like, dude, that was one of the things that got me on the verge of just, like, committing suicide, because at that time it was just like she was the only person in my life that I felt like really acknowledged me and saw me. And so that kind of made me feel bad. And then ultimately, my mental health got a lot better, and then the next morning it was what it was. And I had texted her, I told her, like, I hope you have a nice day, wish you the best, whatever. And then she emails me because, her phone's off, like, and shit like that. And she emails me saying that we can get back together and stuff like that, but there's just a lot of things that we need to do going on forward. And I kind of accepted the apology from her. I apologized to her for, kind of doing the things that I did, and yeah. And then the relationship got back on. we did the typical things we normally did. It got to a point where we started holding hands again, kissing each other the same way again. Even thinking about going to prom, but that ended up not happening. Money situation. And then ultimately the posting about other dudes got worse. My mental health was getting worse. I was posting weird shit on Snapchat about it was cryptic, suicidal shit that I really didn't mean. And then this second argument was just really fucking retarded, because I was on my way to Houston that day, and then we were just texting back and forth, and she essentially was telling me something about her and her ex used to play something, and then I had got kind of angry, and then I know I shouldn't have reacted that way, but it was what it was. And then I told her I wanted to call her, and then she was like she was gonna go to sleep anyway, even though I had told her I wanted to call her when I had got there. And then what I'm saying, I was like, well, okay. And then she posted on her Snapchat story of her getting mad at me for saying her real name or something like that, which is very fucking stupid now that I look back at it. And then I texted her and I was like, what's up with you? Why are you doing this? And then she was like, this pissed me off, this is and the third. And I was like, you don't have to sit there and post this shit. What's the point of posting this shit? And then she just being all aggressive in the text messages and just doing all types of extra shit. And it ultimately ended up, with her blocking me and shit. And I text her the next morning on TikTok and I said what we doing? And she ultimately said that she doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore. And I was like, okay, cool. Can't say a nigga was hurt by that, because I was, but nonetheless, it was just cool. I handled it a lot better than the first breakup, that's for sure. But that went by, and then the next Monday we did end up getting back together weirdly, because she apologized and shit like that. It was just a dumb situation. And then the very next we started, but the thing is, it wasn't normal this time. We rarely held hands, we rarely ever talked while in class. So nigga, you know what I'm saying, we didn't even start talking about other people and past relationships. It's just our communication got worse, and a lot of other shit got worse, and everything was just, it went left after this situation. So there was a specific day where I wasn't really in a good mood, and she didn't want me to walk her to class, and I tried to talk to her, but then when I walk up to her to say hi to her in the gym, she kind of rolled her eyes at me and just on some weird shit. And then I kind of went away from her, and it was just other stuff. I'm the jealous type of nigga. She was talking to another dude and doing all, I was the jealous type back then. So I looked at it as okay, I'm not finna deal with this shit. And then on top of that, you don't want me to even walk you to your car anymore. It's okay, something's going on. And then ultimately, a nigga texted her. I told her I didn't trust her, and then it went left from there. We argued about how she doesn't want a relationship anymore, and how she doesn't like dealing with certain stuff and wants to focus on herself. At that point, I thought it was the end. That was the last time. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. It was the worst. And then this was our longest breakup. Literally our longest breakup. We both went our own ways. I did my ACT. I did good on my ACT. I did other tests, doing good on there. Just getting back on track to being me, the person who I was before I was in a relationship, the person who I was before this person who made me feel this type of way. Because at the end of the day, bro, I know my worth, and I know I don't need a woman to kind of leverage me to being who I need to be. I don't. And I was again going through mental health, because I didn't really know if I was gonna pass school. And then ultimately that ended up getting fixed, and I was just all hyped and stuff like that. But the thing about this time when it came to her, and fellas, this is a big moral. Like, listen to this part closely. She would email me every day talking about an anime character that she had a crush on, how she wanted to date this person, that person thought this person was cute. And one detail I kind of left off. She also posted about a guy saying that he was cute and how, you know what I'm saying, she didn't want to make me mad and stuff like that on her story. That was also what led to the breakup. But back to what I was really saying. She emailed me every day talking about like I love you and stuff like that, and just saying good morning and all types of stuff. And then we finally emailed each other, kind of just saying like, if she wanted to be mine again, whatever, what would you say? And then we end up getting to class. We got to class and we talked it out. We were saying like how, you know, we both did shit that was kind of like fucked up. And then I asked her for the final time, like, and I told her, if you don't want this, let me know right now, or I will never ask again. Like, you'll never see me Snapchat you flirting with you again, because like we were doing a lot of that where we were broken up at the time. We're not gonna do all of that again. We're just gonna be regular friends, going to school, going to class together. That's literally all it's gonna be. And then she says she wants to get back together. And I'm a dummy, chat. I was a dummy at the time. I was really a dummy. Like, because this relationship was too memorable and too good to like end, in my opinion. Like, I bought her flowers on her birthday. What was it? Flowers? No. It was just a bag of gifts. She bought me a whole game, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Like, she did a lot for a nigga at the time. So it got to a point where, you know what I'm saying, this is not something that I can easily let go. And then, you know what I'm saying, we finished the rest of the school year out. You know what I'm saying, just thugging it out. And getting back to being in a real relationship. And then ultimately we both ended up graduating. And doing shit like that. And then if y'all remember my graduation video, y'all do remember that I hinted at this relationship kind of ending, because this was like 2 days after we graduated high school, where I think it was because she didn't want to talk that day. And then I had felt like there was just an itchy feeling where it kind of felt like she was cheating on me. And so I texted her saying like, if you are cheating on me, let me know, because I don't want to be involved. And then she said no, and was sending me like heart shit, like TikTok videos that had like, you know, love shit in it. And then she was saying like, I would never cheat on you, this and then the third. And I was like, I'm sorry for coming off that way. And yeah, have a nice day. She was like, okay. And then this girl again goes on her fucking Snapchat story and just start popping it. Like, for what? And because like she has like multiple followers on Snapchat, and everybody can see her Snapchat story. So I'm not understanding the point of this girl constantly telling people about our relationship. Like, then I texted her confronting her about it, talking about, it's called venting. Like, why are you venting in front of all of your followers? Some of these niggas don't even personally know you. And she was like, I'll delete it, I'm sorry. Like, it goes deeper to that, because you can't just delete some shit and then say I'm sorry and expect shit to be all dandy. And I was like, at this point I was thinking about breaking up, and I told her that. She was like, if you want to, cool. And again, a nigga did not want to break up. But ultimately, in my head, I knew that this relationship was only going to get worse. So we both mutually agreed that this relationship is not going to work out. Like, because you and I are only going to get hurt worse, and we're only going to get fucked over. So let's just end this shit. And she agreed. And, well, specifically, she felt like she was too toxic and wanted to break up. And then I just mutually agreed, like, hey, if you want to at this point. So we kind of ended it there. And then to add on to that, she kind of, when she was about to go to Vegas for her graduation trip, she essentially was like she missed us and that she doesn't want to feel like I gave her a second chance, which I'm glad I didn't give her a second chance because, she was just fucking, oh my God. And then she kind of posted a lot of shit on her story, kind of hinting she wanted to get back with me. And then ultimately, we ended up, just not talking to each other again. Because at the end of the day, we both were children, and I'm grown now. At the end of the day, if she finds some way to watch this, I wish you nothing but the best. This isn't nothing against you. I just wanted to put my story out there because I felt like, taking the mask off a little bit. Now, I'm not the best storyteller ever. This is my first time doing some shit like this, but at the end of the day, I hope y'all enjoyed this shit, man. It felt good doing this. Even because I'm not good at it, it felt good doing this. And I might do a stream after this. So, once again, thank you all for watching. You all have done really good supporting this channel and doing what y'all need to do to put this channel more out there. And once again, thank y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all for watching. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.